Hello, Wade Hampton High School. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story with you on your virtual career fair. Hopefully, this is going to be fun and interesting time to you to watch other career people share their stories as far as nurses and business owners and uh, just different people. And hopefully, it'll give you an opportunity to decide what you want to do, and you'll learn from these videos. It's going to be a fun time for you, I hope, and I hope you enjoy it. My name is John Tingle. I am the operator of a Chick-fil-A in Kingsport, Tennessee. I've been with Chick-fil-A for over 30 years, and it's been a fun ride for 30 years. How I got started was in the restaurant business. At the age of 16, I started working for an IHOP in Asheville, North Carolina. Started off as a dishwasher and worked for the Coxes in Asheville for about 5 years. During that time, I was in high school. Um, After high school, I went to AV Tech, which is a 2 year technical college, and got a degree in business administration. I always wanted to own my own business, and so I thought the best way to do that would be to get a business administration degree. After AV Tech, I went to Western Carolina University and pursued my degree there in business administration. During that time, I worked through with the Coxes for and as their general manager. I thought that I would always like to own my own restaurant. During that time with the Coxes, I was given the opportunity to take over their facility, but I didn't have the financial backing to do that. During that time, I was introduced to the Chick-fil-A operator at the Asheville Mall. His name is Larry Meadows, and talked with him a little bit and did some research on Chick-fil-A and found out it was a good company, good solid company. They were closed on Sundays, which I preferred that over IHOP, which was open 7 days a week. Um, Started working for Larry in 1983 and worked with him for about 4.5, 5 years. Larry was my mentor and taught me just about everything I needed to know to run a Chick-fil-A. I started off washing dishes for Larry the first day that I was there. Washed dishes, did some food prep, went through his leadership training program, uh, and pretty much learned how to do inventory. Back in the days, we had to do payroll by hand, had to do inventory by hand. I didn't have computers yet, so it was interesting to do all that stuff manually. He taught me how to interview potential candidates to work in our store, open the store, close the store. He even taught me maintenance, so as far as being able to take care of our equipment and save on costs, which would help produce a bigger profit for him. Um, the other part of the business was after I worked with Larry for the 5 years, I was given the opportunity to go run a store in Memphis, Tennessee. During that time, you had to prove to Chick-fil-A that, hey, you were capable of doing something without any supervision. So I was in Memphis for about a month and a half, was put in a situation where it's just here, go take it over. The first day that I was there, I had to do a truck order, had to do payroll, and didn't know anything about the store or anything about employees or anything at all. So I learned a lot in that month and a half that I was there. Ended up doing a pretty good job. Showed a profit for the store, and back in that time, showing a profit was pretty difficult in some of the situations that you were put into. After Memphis, um, I was chosen to become a Chick-fil-A operator. And so the other training that I had to do is we went to our corporate headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, which the facility there was just unreal. It was a new company. We had a brand new business home office, 5-story building. That's where we did all our training at. We were down there for 6 weeks, and pretty much it was a um, learn as fast as you can. Um, they taught us uh, payroll. They taught us interviewing, running the business, inventory, food safety was one of the top things with Chick-fil-A that we had to learn. Had to go through, I think, almost a whole day of food safety classes down there during that time. After operator training, I took over the Fort Henry Mall store in Kingsport, Tennessee. I was there for, we had that store for 10 years. It was a small little restaurant and mall store, and the volume there was very small. We had to take care of fixing most of our equipment ourselves because it was too expensive to bring in repair people to take care of that. And after 10 years there, we opened up our freestanding store in Kingsport. And so now I own and operate our Chick-fil-A freestanding store there. An average day at Chick-fil-A is interesting. I don't know if there's anything at Chick-fil-A that is an average day. Every day is an adventure. We have different things that come up with. Right now in our store, we have a total of right at about 95 employees. And on any given day, you never know what's going to happen. You have equipment that breaks down. You have employees that don't show up. You have large catering orders that are called in on the spur of the moment that you have to take care of our guests. So it's always an adventure at Chick-fil-A. One of the things I will say as far as an operator or even any employee at our store, you have to be very flexible. You have to roll with changes very quickly. And I will say our staff has done a very good job at that. During the last 6 weeks with this COVID-19 going on, we've had to make adjustments as far as we had to shut down our dining room. We've had to learn how to run a new business as far as curbside, and not having any guests come in our store. It's totally different. That's what we do most of our customer service, and that's what we're known for. And so we've had to take those skills and just put them in going outside to doing curbside service and things like that. The best part of my job is when I see employees grow. And you see them, sometimes we hire them at 15 years old and they're very shy and quiet and timid. And after watching them grow, they after a year or so, you just look back and see how much they've grown, how much knowledge they've taken in, how outgoing they are. You try to encourage them every day into doing different things and getting out of their comfort zones. I've had some employees that have been with me. I've got 3 employees that have been with me 20 years, which is pretty cool. And that's always a joy. We also, another good part of my job is just seeing kids that we hired at younger ages, 16, 18, and they come back and see me, and they've gone to different careers. Some of them have become doctors. I've had some lawyers, veterinarians, just different fields, engineers. So it's really neat to know that they come back and see us and say, hey, they bring back their kids, which is really cool. So that's one of the best parts of my job, is just seeing how young people have grown. The hardest part of my job is when sometimes we don't make very good selections as far as people. People say that, they tell you what you want to hear in some interviews, and sometimes it's not a good fit for us or them, so we have to terminate people. That is the hardest part of my job, and I never like to do that. We always like to leave people in good situations. Some advice that I'd like to give you as far as pursuing your career: make sure you do something that's going to be fun, that you enjoy, that you're passionate about. Make sure that the first step is filling out an application. Whenever you fill an application, do it the best that you can, the neatest that you can. Most applications are done online now, and just fill it out as much information as you can to sell yourself, to promote yourself. Do that, and you'll get some calls. Another thing you need to do is on your interview. I was always told to dress to impress, so make sure you look sharp during that time. I hope this is encouraging to you and that you learn something, and have fun. Appreciate your time. And remember, always eat more chicken.